Good afternoon. Welcome to Entrepreneurial Live Interviews with Connie Fuksa. I created this series of sharing entrepreneurial journeys with you guys so you can understand some of the struggles, the trials and tribulations, the successes, some of the aha moments and points that entrepreneurs have been looking for and finding throughout their journey to be able to share those stories with you. And today I have the unique honor to introduce you to a lady that I most recently met that has just an absolutely incredible heart, but is so powerful based on experiences and things that she's gone through in her life. And to tell you a little bit about Jennifer, she's a retired Navy person and a Navy veteran. She worked on fighter jets. Imagine how incredible this is. She's going to tell us all about those things. But one of the things she experienced was a really tough situation with domestic violence and how she dealt with that, being in such a powerful position and having to go through that experience and just really feeling like she was alone. What happened, fast forward a little bit, is Jennifer then started realizing what was happening, got herself into a better position in her life, and now she's helping other people come through these horrible challenges with all of her experiences. And she's so genuine, and I just can't wait for her to share her story with you. So Jennifer, thank you so much for being with me today.
Hi, Connie. It's a pleasure. I am truly humbled and honored.
Oh, I am so excited to have you, and I just can't wait for you to share your story. So let's get started with that. So first, Jennifer, tell us a little bit about you. Who are you? Where did you come from? Tell us a little bit about that really amazing naval career and where you are now and what you're doing.
Oh, good gracious. Yes, my name is Jennifer Foxworthy. I am the founder and CEO of Inspirationally Speaking, LLC, which is a for-profit. And then I have a nonprofit 501c3 organization, Unstoppable You Ministries, Inc. And I'm a motivational speaker, author of Tomorrow My Sunshine Will Come, Memoirs of Women Who Survived Domestic Violence. Just a serial entrepreneur. I'm bubbly, lively. I like to have fun. I am a wife of an amazing husband of 13 years. His name is Tom. I have awesome son, Noah, and then my 3 bonus kids. I'm really, really blessed. I'm a Christian. I mean, you name it, I got it going on.
That is exciting. So, Jennifer, first tell us a little bit about you and your naval career, because thank you so much for serving and protecting all of us in this great country. So I really appreciate you for that. But tell us a little bit about that, because this is a spot where a lot of women never get to. And so I want you to just share how, I mean, that's in itself driving through a lot of really tough stuff.
Absolutely, Connie. So I did 21.7 years in the United States Navy in the enlisted ranks. I retired in 2013 at the pay grade of E7, or Chief Petty Officer. I did my first 4 years. I detected, localized, and tracked enemy ships and submarines. My very first duty station was Adak, Alaska. Then I decided to switch field, so to speak, and went into the aviation community, where I went through Naval Air Crew School, got through that training, and lo and behold, I didn't realize that I was the first African American, probably in the enlisted ranks, that graduated that school in more than 10 years. And
you are amazing.
That really didn't open my eyes of the journey that I would have. I wasn't necessarily on fighter jets, but I was on 3 different platforms, EP3s, E6As. So more of your fixed wing, your bigger aircraft. I flew with the crew. I was a naval air crewman during that 15-year stint. Flew combat missions in 3 different wars: Kosovo, Afghanistan, and Iraq. Accumulated over 3,700 flight hours. And I was rare because I was the first in 3 of those aviation squadrons, whether due to my skin color or my gender. Mm-hmm. And as you can imagine, in a male-dominated industry, I dealt with some pushback, some isolation, things that were not very, it was daunting, I'll say, to say the least.
Right.
And then my last tour, I transitioned from military warfare to military welfare, treating our service members and their dependents. I became a certified alcohol and drug counselor. So that was my 21.7 years. But I believe, Connie, what you're alluding to is while I was in that Naval Air Crew period, I experienced for 5.5 years domestic violence. It was service member on service member. And then I was fighting a war on 3 different fronts.
Right.
Where a personal war, dealing with someone who professed that they love me, and then also a professional war of trying to fit in where I clearly stood out, and as well as a war with other countries. So it was very, very interesting.
So fast forward a little bit, and thank you again. I mean, I'm sorry I got the fighter jet part wrong, but you have such a career. It's just incredible. And so I mixed that one up, but gave you the perfect opportunity to pull all those pieces together for us.
That's right.
Fast forward a little bit and tell us, okay, so you're out of the Navy and you retire and you're in this situation and you move yourself forward. Somehow you move from being in your naval career to what you're going to do next. But you still also have this situation on the outside in your personal life. Well, I should say on the inside that no one knows and sees. Tell us about that evolution a little bit.
The abusive relationship was with a boyfriend. So that was kind of in the middle of my career.
Okay.
So it wasn't with, the husband that I have now. And I am absolute proof that you can find unconditional true love after being in such a horrible nightmare. So all of that was a part of my story. But like so many of us, we're very resilient. And that's what the Navy has taught me, or the military, is being resilient. And just to not get stuck in a victim mindset that this is all I am able to have or worthy to have. Right. I had to go through a period of healing in order to get where I'm at today. So that way I don't cling on to excuses. And I think that's what makes me, that's what helps my entrepreneurial spirit and my mindset to accomplish all that I have today, is to migrate from an abusive relationship, a tough career. And it was fruitful. I've been to over 27 different countries. I've been to 49 out of the 50 states. I've seen and done amazing things. But it wasn't without its challenges. And it's that resilience that has gotten me here today. It's that mindset.
Yeah. And so, today we've been talking about mindset and a lot of different platforms that I've been dealing with. But this is such a perfect segue into, or continuation of that today. So tell us a little bit. So you go from being this incredible naval career, a tough family situation or tough home life situation, to you meet this incredible guy and you decide to start a business. How does this all happen? Talk to us a little bit about that.
I tell you, God is good. And I praise him for unanswered prayers. So in that relationship, the abusive one, I prayed for him to make me an honest woman. I wanted to start having a family and everything else. But the abuse continued and got worse. And then finally I was like, it can't be. Fast forward, I meet my husband, or at that time we worked in the same building. But and then things blossomed. Our relationship, we got married, everything grew. I didn't become an entrepreneur until after I retired. But I started speaking while I was active duty in the Navy. So everything had sections, so to speak. I wanted to focus on my naval career. And then once I got out, I really want to pursue motivational speaking. And that's when I started Inspirationally Speaking. And then the nonprofit came in 2017. So I've been an entrepreneur for about 7 years.
So talk to us a little bit about it, inspirationally speaking, because that's a really interesting spot. And this is the beginning of your entrepreneurial career. So talk to us a little bit about that. I mean, what made you decide to do this, and how did you just jump into it?
I realized that I had a gift for a message. I always, if I'm speaking, I want to say something fruitful that other people can hold on to and feel inspired. And I've had many opportunities while I was in the service to um, deliver those messages. And especially as you grow in leadership, you have to know how to motivate your service members in order to have them do what you need them to, even through those tough times. And that's what I want to impart on organizations, companies today, is how to motivate your employees, how to delegate to your employees. It's a fine line. And I truly believe you need to have an element of inspiration. You need to be innovative and also work with integrity. And I call that the triple I threat. For inspirationally speaking, my brand is Get Fit. And us military folks, we love to make an acronym out of everything. So fit is the root word for fitness, and you think of being physically fit, but I want people to be fit mind, body, and soul. And so the acronym is focused, intentional, and thriving. I want people to get fit, in all areas of their lives. And how they do that is by identifying internal and external barriers so that they can see beyond their current reality.
Wow, this is great. So when the inspirational speaking, is it, do you work with organizations? Do you speak on a bigger level? Do you go in and do coaching within organizations, or is that platform much bigger that you work with large groups of people?
So I am an employee of one. So people or organizations, I have been hired around the country. I've spoken California, Maine, you name it. I've done caregivers retreats. So I have in my wheelhouse, I speak on self-care, self-realization, self-awareness, leadership development, team building. Domestic violence was one of my number one sought after topics. And what I like to help employers know, that when their employee, their production decreases, it's not always that they're being lazy. There may be an underlying situation that's happening at home that is now coming into the professional arena, and that is, their mind may be off. So for example, if they're always on the phone, it's because maybe the abuser is always calling them, wanting to check up on them. What are you doing? What's going on now? And they are not able to get their work done. Or they get beat up. Now that's time in the hospital or time healing. That's time away from the office area, being work, as well as their stalking and financial abuse. So the bills are piling up. Domestic violence takes so many forms. And that's why I want to help employers think outside the box. And if their morale is low, let's look at your team building, the team building skills. In the Navy, our core values are honor, courage, and commitment. So I use those inherent skills that I learned over those 21.7 years to help companies grow and to maximize their metric, but also see their employees as an investment.
I love it. I love it. So obviously we're learning a whole lot about your for-profit business. Talk to us about your other project, because you have a nonprofit as well. And this is amazing. And, like you said earlier, it's interesting how all these pieces sort of tie together, and things that has happened to you in your life clearly have been stepping stones to get you to today. So talk to us a little bit about your charitable side as well.
You are so right, Connie. Everything connects. So Unstoppable You Ministries, we provide emergency services, training, and supportive resources around the country to individuals and families dealing with domestic violence, human trafficking, and homelessness. And many people don't realize that all three horrible pandemics, I call them pandemics because it's happening worldwide,
Yes.
that one individual can experience all three. So I love educating people that domestic violence is just not physical, that it knows no boundaries, no skin color, no economical or social demographics. It knows no boundaries. Human trafficking, the same way. How do we protect our young boys and girls? Is by educating them. So Unstoppable You Ministries, we have several platforms where we provide these unique opportunities. One of them is the Unstoppable You Conference. We've been on tour since 2013. We've been to 9 different states. It's become a movement. And part of that unique conference is where we reach out to shelters and outreach ministries. And I also collaborate with business owners that are salon owners, makeup artists, and clothing boutiques. And to date, we have been able to bless 43 homeless men and women and human trafficking survivors with a complete head-to-toe makeover.
Wow.
Not only that, at least 90% of them go on to where they're no longer homeless, but they're actually living in a residence and holding their own. It's incredible.
You know, it was funny as you were saying that, I was going to say to you, so why, when you were figuring out how to bless people, why did you choose to do the makeover instead of maybe, I don't know, some other type of education? But clearly, so tell us that, because I really feel like there's probably an underlying piece to that. I'm sure with the theme of the rest of your life, I am sure there's an underlying theme. So tell us why the makeover.
The makeover, I don't know about you, Connie, but when I get dressed up, put makeup on, jewelry and everything, it just transitions me. It boosts my self-esteem. And before you can get someone to the next level, you have to boost their self-esteem, their confidence. And as you can imagine, if you're homeless, you're living in the woods, you're begging for food, the confidence is non-existent. Right. So first we have to clean the person up head to toe and let them look in the mirror and show them you may have had a setback, whatever it is, but you are beautiful and fearfully and wonderfully made. And that in doing so, it restores their hope in humanity. Mm-hmm. And it has been life-changing for me, to say the least, to bless these individuals. And they get 2 outfits apiece. They get their makeup, they get their hair done, things that they wouldn't be able to afford. Right. But we want to bless them with an outfit that they can go to that job interview, mm-hmm. because many of them, they want that job, but they don't have the right look. Yeah. We've even been able to bless 2 people to get dentures with dental work. Wow. So if you can imagine that smile, here's the caveat with teeth, the things that we take for granted. Mm-hmm. Many employers won't say it of why they won't hire you. But if you have no teeth, I'm sure, and you're the person that's sitting at the front desk, employers are not going to hire you because you don't have that smile. And so you can't get the teeth because you don't have the job. Yeah. You can't get the job because you have no teeth. Yeah.
How powerful is that? Wow. So yeah. I felt that was along that line, because, we all know when you get ready for, your job or your activity for the day, getting up and getting a shower, getting your exercise, whatever that happens to be, brushing your teeth, putting on some makeup. And for guys, just putting on some really nice clothes that you feel good in and empowered in. You're a different person. You react to things differently. You're more open to the big picture, and you feel very empowered. So I was pretty sure we were going along that line, but I wanted you to share with us. So okay. I don't want to spend too much time on this because there's so many pieces we still have to get to, but I also want you to talk a little bit about your book, because so many people think, it'd be kind of cool to write a book, but what would I do? Obviously you've done it. So talk to us about your book, because you told me a little bit about it offline and it's so interesting. I want to hear this and I want to share.
Tomorrow My Sunshine Will Come, Memoirs of Women Who Survived Domestic Violence. It initially was going to be just a book of myself. But as I was about to retire and I was telling everyone that I was going to write this book, I had women who I had worked with and knew in the military that were saying me too. And I'm like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Because I felt so ashamed and guilty that here I am, this G.I. Jane, this warrior who served in the military, flying combat missions and achieved so much. But how in the world did I get here to be in these horrible relationships? And so it became a collection of true memoirs. 5 of the 6 stories are enlisted, are of women who were enlisted and officer in the military. They shared their story with me. I wrote and published it, self-published it. And I am so grateful that I have therapists, state attorneys, religious leaders, community leaders, book clubs, all using the book to help, and even victims advocates in the military using the book to help others know you are not alone. And that is the greatest deception of Satan, is to help us think, to get us to think that we are alone in our journey, and we're not. And that is the book, Tomorrow My Sunshine Will Come. I wanted to put a positive spin on that horrible epidemic. That sunshine emulates, tomorrow. It may be darkness today, but tomorrow will be sunshine, and you can get out of your relationship. You can go from victim to survivor to thriver.
I love this. I love this. So let's talk about, just for a few minutes, because we've had so much content here. It's hard to fit all of it into 30 minutes, but I wanted to go, thank you for writing that book and allowing other ladies to share, because, there's so many people out there that you hear. Our brains do have a tendency, again, this is a theme I've been talking about this week, to block us into thinking that we're not good enough, we're not worthy, we're all alone on this island. And this theme really follows along with the entrepreneurial journey. So I really just wanted to touch on that for a few minutes, because so here's a lady who, is a naval veteran who survived some pretty horrific stuff, both personally and professionally, because of the things that she was doing and where she was. But what she decided to do was start a business that helped other people get through, these kinds of things and learn from all of the things that she's learned. So I love that you're not only sharing your entrepreneurial journey, you've realized the building blocks that that your life has created for you, but that you're sharing all of this every single day, that no one, entrepreneurs have a bad tendency to feel like they're on an island as well. And one of the reasons I did this series is so people could realize that there's so much information out there. There's so many people that want to help. Like Jennifer, I'm sure if somebody reached out to you and said, hey, share with me, how would you do this? Or how would you do that? That you would be ready to jump on the boat and say, hey, how can I help you? That's exactly what it's all about. So I love how your life has sort of intertwined into this amazing entrepreneurial journey. So Jennifer, do me a favor and share with us, if somebody wanted to reach out to you after today, how could they do that?
Connie, I absolutely adore you, you beautiful sister queen. Thank you for this opportunity. There's multiple ways. You could Google Jennifer Foxworthy. I'm all over Google. I'm on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I have 2 YouTube channels because, as you can imagine, with 2 businesses, for-profit and nonprofit, I got to keep things separate. So there's 2 accounts for everything. I'm even on LinkedIn. So if you just look for Jennifer Foxworthy, you can't miss me. My 2 websites are www.inspirationallyspeaking.com. I can do virtual presentations. I can even do on-site. And then also, I need your help, because Unstoppable You Ministries, we are a charity organization, and that is www.unstoppableyouministriesinc.org. That's how you can find me.
I'm typing them in the comments. UnstoppableYouMinistries.org.
Unstoppable You Ministries Inc. INC.
I knew I missed something. Okay.
That's okay. .org. And that's you with a YOU.
Okay, got
Unstoppable.
it. Yep. So I put those in the comments. If anybody wants to see that, I know that you're all over social media, but I just wanted you to share that because I think you have such amazing gifts and experiences that I think a lot of people can relate in a lot of different ways. And, you know, I have to tell everybody too, a lot of times the entrepreneurs that I interview, I started out when I started doing this were people that I knew. And the most amazing thing is that people have started sharing their friends and their connections with me. And Jennifer, I met sort of through someone else, but sort of she reached out to me individually on LinkedIn and we started talking. And I thought, and I said to her, oh my gosh, I have to get you online. So I'm just so thrilled that you know, there's so much vulnerability in your story. And I love that you are not afraid to share that because your passion is helping other people.
Yes, absolutely. I truly believe that through our testimony, we inspire and empower others. When without a mess, there's no message. Without a test, there's no testimony. And so it's, how do we help others know that they're not alone and to encourage them and get them through those tough times? And that's what we're doing. And Connie, through your show, you're doing an amazing job. You have interviewed some amazing women, and so just extraordinary.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, and I do interview guys too. Unfortunately, it seems as though most of the people that reach out to me are ladies. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it doesn't matter to me, but I do interview gentlemen as well. So I'm always open to having a conversation about that. But I love that. I just wrote a note, without a mess, there's no message. What a powerful thought that is. So as we close up, Jennifer, share with me two things. Number one, do you have any kind of special activity, program that you want to share with everybody that you have going on in your business or your nonprofit?
Well, I just, because of COVID-19, we're all having to pivot. So I do virtual presentations, webinars, you name it. I just became certified through eSpeakers as a virtual presenter. I'm willing to travel around the country if anyone is interested. Again, I want to elevate individuals, companies, organizations to the next level. I want to help them get fit and see beyond their current reality. And as well, so my next event that I have is with FAB, which is a women's networking organization. And that is September 18th. It's a Friday. I'm one of the keynote speakers. Again, that's FAB. And I can share that information, the flyer with you, or I'll share it on my social medias and my website when the flyer is complete. So that is my up and coming keynote event that I'm doing. And
you say that was September 18th?
Yes, ma'am. Friday, September 18th.
Okay, good. I'm going to go just put that in the comments. And then, yeah, if you want to post your flyer in the comments after we're done, that's perfect. So that would be great. And post it on your social media. That would be great. And lastly, Jennifer, tell us, you know, every entrepreneur has that one thing that they go to that in their head, they're like, you know what, no matter what, the one thing that I really learned that I always want to share with everybody else, my one go-to piece of advice is what? What is yours?
My go piece of advice is to be gentle with yourself. You are competing with no one. We all have unique gifts and you use them to the best of your abilities. I think that's what lowers self-esteem and confidence, is when we compete with one another. There was a quote that I heard from a presenter of mine several years ago at a conference. Girls compete, women uplift.
I love that. That's very good. And that's true about guys, girls, anybody. I mean, that's the beauty of the growth that we all experience. So I have to write that one down too. That's absolutely awesome. Jennifer, this has been such an amazing experience. And I'm so thrilled that you reached out to me and that we were able to connect, because you have so many valuable gifts and resources, and you're just so caring, but incredibly powerful in your messages. And, I love how all of your life experiences, good and horrible, have weaved together to make you this amazing human that you are now. So I truly appreciate you being part of our series, reaching out to me, and I look forward to our continued friendship and growth.
Yes, ma'am. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Jennifer, thank you so much. Guys, if you want to reach out to Jennifer or you want to get to know more about her, again, we posted her websites in the comments. You can find her. She is, as she said, all over social media, which is phenomenal. She's very active on LinkedIn. So we will, as you know, we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, but we're also posting the links on LinkedIn. So if that's your platform, then it'll be there as well. Jennifer will be posting it on her site, on her LinkedIn as well, sharing it with all of the people she knows. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of our broadcasts going forward, please, please, please subscribe to my YouTube, Connie Fuksa, so you can make sure you don't miss anything. You'll get those notifications every time we get a new broadcast getting ready to come up. So I thank you guys so much for taking your time. You also can find out more about me at conniefuksa.com. It's Fuksa. That where we talk about training and teaching leaders how to be able to share their information and share all the information in their head and talking about what they know about their business and not what they do. People don't care about what you do. They want to know who you are and what you know. And that's what I help you learn how to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this broadcast of Entrepreneurial Live Interviews with Connie Fuksa. We will be back again soon. And again, thank you for tuning in to watch Jennifer's amazing story. Bye-bye.